The video is viral and reaction is heated. What officials say about the daring maneuvers and how close they are to identifying the operator.
This is wrong, and the ministry needs to be accountable for whether it's a mistake or whether it's whatever it is.
How new infrastructure sends the wrong signal for those trying to cross the street. Why one island community says the mistake could mean life or death.
It's really exciting celebration. Honestly, it is a celebration of faith, hope, and resilience of Filipino community here in Vancouver Island.
It's Filipino Heritage Month, the community celebrating this month while growing here on the island, the hope for a new center to keep their heritage and culture strong. Good evening and thanks for joining us. The video of a boat jumping through a BC Ferry's wake going viral a couple of days ago is gaining traction. With tens of thousands of views and growing, BC Ferry says they are taking the matter seriously and there are now clues tonight on who might have been behind the wheel. With more on what officials are saying they hope will come from this incident and the warning to others, here's Ollie Herrera.
It's about a minute-long video that's caught the attention of passengers on board a BC Ferry's vessel and tens of thousands of people online. Early last week, a motorboat was operating behind the large BC Ferry's vessel and using the wake to jump over, prompting the president of the BC Ferry and Marine Workers Union to call out the act.
There's a serious danger to the people in the boat. In that boat, and there's a risk to our crews on the ferry as well.
Chris Clausen says a stunt like this is a distraction to ferry workers who are already trying to keep an eye on the vessel's surroundings. And if another boat gets too close, like in this video, they can actually disappear from the ship's view.
And they'll disappear from the radar because they get so close to the proximity, and when they disappear from the radar, you wonder where they went, right? Either whether they had a collision or they've just disappeared, so something's happened.
BC Ferries is aware of the video and says operating a pleasure craft that close to a ferry is extremely dangerous. Today, it's said the operator still hasn't been identified.
We've seen people have heart attacks. We've seen people just, aneurysms. Any type of incident could occur where that boat loses control.
Volunteers at the Royal Canadian Marine Search and Rescue says if something like that did happen,
first responders could be at least half an hour away.
Station 33 leader Jonathan Cobham reminds boaters that they are expected to follow the rules of the waters and not to get too close to large vessels and not to underestimate them.
Being on the ocean, it's not a question of if things will go wrong, but a matter of when most times. And, that's the greatest concern as a search and rescue volunteer.
Life jackets are also something that boaters need to have on board while out on the waters. In one social media post, a woman claimed to be a passenger on the boat along with another family member. CHEK News reached out for a comment but hasn't received a response.
Drowning deaths on Vancouver Island declined in 2025, but the BC Coroner's Service is still urging people to take precaution around lakes, rivers, and the ocean as the numbers this spring have spiked, nearly doubling the same time period as last year. An annual report from the BC Coroner's Service found there were 17 accidental drowning deaths in the Island Health Region back in 2025. So far, there's been 9 deaths in BC since May related to drowning. On the island, the highest number of drowning deaths occurred in the central Vancouver Island region, which includes communities such as Nanaimo, Parksville, and Qualicum Beach. Among rivers, the Cowichan River was the only Vancouver Island waterway to appear among the province's deadliest waterways over the last decade. We have more information and a link to the full report on our website. The union representing British Columbia 911 workers say they will be in a legal strike position tomorrow. 95% of employees voted in favor of the potential job action last month. The provincial government has appointed a mediator as it seeks to avert a strike. It comes with wildfire season in full swing, one of its busiest times of the year for emergency services. The union says it had negotiated with the employer for more than 20 days since bargaining began last November, and that strike action was a last resort. A Sydney intersection is causing navigation confusion after tactile pads were installed incorrectly, leading those with no vision or low vision at risk when crossing the street. Eden Chipperfield reports.
This intersection at Highway 17 and Beacon Avenue in Sydney may seem like any other, but for those in the low vision and no vision community, crossing the road could be a matter of life or death.
The way that they have put the tactile surfacing and the strips, they're not aligned properly. So somebody that is blind, low vision or blind, would end up walking into the middle of the intersection.
The bright yellow pads are used for navigation, either by feeling with one's feet or by using walking canes to detect when the crosswalk ends. But 3 out of the 6 pads were installed incorrectly, angled directly towards the center of the intersection.
And it's really frustrating because I want to be able to walk in my community, go to the other side of the highway and enjoy all the new amenities that they've built there, but I can't physically get there on my own.
Vanessa Pettinger became blind after a car accident in 2017, and despite her confidence with most things in her life, leaving her house by herself is still a challenge.
I always have a sighted guide, or I get in the handy dart or a cab and somebody's there to meet me on the other side. The reason for that is because when I have gone out on the road and have had people try to help me, all the sidewalks and crosswalks are different.
Sydney Councillor Scott Garnett saw the error right after installation. He says that he only noticed the misaligned pads because of being on council and listening to disability advocates.
I turned around and I looked down at the scoring lines which led into the tactile pads, and I just did a double take.
Garnett says he informed his engineering department, which told him to go to the province. The Ministry of Transportation and Transit is responsible for the intersection. And despite raising concerns in April, a fix hasn't happened.
We need to advocate for this. This is wrong. And the ministry needs to be accountable for whether it's a mistake or whether it's whatever it is.
The ministry told Sydney Council that the pads were meant to be anti-slip.
If that was really and truly why the ministry spent the money to put in these tactile plates for anti-slip, then why would they not align it with the crosswalk?
Error or not, people like Vanessa just want it to be fixed. Until then, she says that crossing isn't safe for her or for anyone who relies on these markings to cross the street.
Celebrity guests, cosplay, workshops, the annual Island Fan Con underway this weekend. The event bringing fanboys and girls together to celebrate film, books, animation, and entertainment. Gathering spot for those who want to celebrate all things pop culture and a chance to be with other fandoms.
Everyone's a fan of something, so we try to bring in a little bit of everything. So we do panels and workshops with folks that do like acting coaching or artists, cosplay, all sorts of different things to do with, like I said, traditional arts, media arts.
One of the big names this year, Academy Award nominee Eric Roberts, known for his roles in Runaway Train, The Expendables, The Dark Knight, and hundreds of other credits, along with some cast members from Breaking Bad. The event goes till 7 o'clock this evening in Langford. And a big block party this weekend along Victoria's Cook Street. Entertainment vendors taking over Cook Street all day today. A great chance for local businesses to showcase product and bringing communities together.
It's just a day of coming together and eating good food and listening to great music and doing a little shop as well.
And it's not just music and shopping. One of the big highlights, if not the highlight, is the fastest dog of Cook Street Village contest. The winner is crowned champion on stage at the end of the block party and wins free food for a year. Vic PD saying they expected roughly 25,000 people to take in today's event. A pair of ducklings are getting a second chance after a close call with a predator landed them in care at the Vancouver Island Wildlife Rehabilitation Center. The recovery center says the 2 ducklings were recently brought into care after being dropped onto a busy roadway by a predator. According to the BC SPCA, ducklings are typically highly dependent on their parents shortly after hatching. Because duck families travel together, a duckling found alone with no adult birds nearby is often orphaned and may require assistance from a licensed wildlife recovery center. The ducklings are expected to remain in care until they are healthy enough and old enough to be released back into the wild. There's some good news for you.
Little face.
Very cute, and
I
all
want
is well
ducklings
there.
now.
So how about the weather? Is all well in that direction?
Well, as expected today,
It was
a
cold
mix.
this morning.
Yes, it was and a mix. So some areas saw a little more cloud, other areas saw a little more sun, depending where you were today. That wind kicking up again as well. So unsettled is the theme of the next few days. We do have a change on the way for tomorrow, though. So wet conditions across the island for tomorrow, but it is some much needed precipitation. Let's take a look at our radar map, and you can see those bands of precipitation for some areas. Most areas, though, as expected, dry conditions today. Temperature-wise, we're still a bit below seasonal. So we started off the week very hot, above seasonal, and then we've dipped below seasonal. So that will be the trend the next couple days, but we do have a warm-up this coming week. So after the next few days of unsettled conditions, we are looking at some sunny and very warm weather. The summer sizzle will be on. But I was crunching numbers today to look at our spring rainfall totals. So here's a look. Total precipitation from March 1st to May 31st, which is meteorological spring. That's how the climate data is done. So all of March, April, and May. So it's consistent every year. All of the areas in red have less than 50% of their normal spring precipitation for that 3-month span. Port Hardy did come in around normal, but that's only because March was so high. So March was 309 millimeters of that 387 millimeter total. Same story for Gonzales as well as UVic. Those March numbers really propping those amounts up. But as you can see, Campbell River just 49% of normal. Comox 49% of normal. Nearby Cumberland had 129 millimeters, so a bit more than Comox, which is typical. Usually Cumberland is a bit wetter than Comox. Qualicum Beach, though, one of the driest spots, only 30% of normal, just 64.3 millimeters of rain in 3 months. Nanaimo was under 100 millimeters. Duncan was just over 100 millimeters. And then the Victoria Airport, 62% of normal. UVic, you can see those March amounts. So normal for UVic for the 3 months is 117 millimeters. March alone was 115. So much wetter for more southern sections of Greater Victoria. Gonzales as well, more than 100 millimeters in March. Normal for the 3 months is 126. So that's why Gonzales ended up around normal, and UVic actually ended up being quite a bit above normal as a result of that heavy March rainfall, which really propped things up, but very, very dry conditions. So definitely a concern. February was also very dry, but with the rain we saw this week, we were also treated to some beautiful rainbows. Today's weather photo is this great shot of a double rainbow captured by Lisa Wilson of Mill Bay. The rain's also a chance for some four-legged fashionistas to strut their stuff. Jan Cook of Victoria sent in this photo of Brody and Morley ready for the weather, looking good in their matchy raincoats. Very cute. More viewer pet photos are coming up at the end of our newscast after Pet Check. And on Pet Check today, we have the cutest kittens. They are just so adorable. I wanted to keep all of them, Scott. I'll also have the latest on what you can expect this week, because it's a bit of a up and down this week. We're looking at cooler than normal, but then way warmer than normal conditions as well.
All right, staying tuned. Thanks so much, Tess. Our Prime Minister is leaving the country for a major summit. Meanwhile, the opposition leader is heading to Alberta to start a campaign on why the province should stay in our country.
The Kennedy Classic comes to Saratoga Speedway June 12th to the 13th. $100,000 of prize money is on the line as Northwest Super Late Model Series makes its first appearance in Canada. Tickets available now at SaratogaRacing.ca. Saratoga Speedway, Vancouver Island's home of speed.
Score big savings at The Brick. Get this Canadian-made mattress in a box. All sizes are just $3.99 each. And this Sealy Crown Jewel Queen mattress is only $9.99. The Brick and The Brick Mattress Store. The right mattress, guaranteed.
Take your comfort to new heights with Mountain Peak Heating and Cooling. With professional heat pump installs, dependable service, and in-house design, we are local experts keeping you comfortable through every season. Your home deserves comfort that steps above the rest. Mountain Peak Heating and Cooling.
I did have struggles with waking many times during the night and not quite being able to feel completely rested in the morning.
Snoring relief starts here with Quiet Night Laser Therapy from Dr. Leachman. Quiet Night uses gentle CO2 laser energy to help open airways and improve breathing. Enjoy better rest, more energy, and brighter mornings.
After meeting Dr. Leachman, I feel a lot of energy during the day.
Book your Quiet Night appointment with Dr. Leachman today.
At One Stop Furniture and Mattress, customer service is #1. Relax with our knowledgeable, non-commissioned sales staff. Looking for dining room furniture? Whether it's for 2 or 22, we have something for you. See our wide range of Canadian-made quality dining room furniture, completely customizable to suit your taste. Choice of size, wood, color, and upholstery. We'll help you create the perfect piece for your room.
One Stop Furniture and Mattress,
where you're #1. At Jenner, it's our promise to give your family the best deal from the best people on a new Chevrolet Bolt or Equinox EV. Our 45th anniversary continues to go green at Jenner Chevrolet Buick GMC, still on the old on highway.
Our Prime Minister Mark Carney heading to Europe this week for a high-profile diplomatic tour as trade tensions linger here at home. The Prime Minister's office saying Carney will leave this Thursday for visits to France and Ireland before wrapping up the week-long trip at the G7 Leaders Summit. The discussions will center on deepening trade, artificial intelligence, and economic security with Canada's closest international allies. The future of North America trade will be in the shadows ahead of the upcoming CUSMA review deadline on July 1st. Canada and Mexico have engaged in separate discussions with the United States in the lead up to that key date. But before the Prime Minister travels to France and Ireland, he will oversee the installation of Canada's 31st Governor General during a ceremony tomorrow at the Senate building in Ottawa. Former Supreme Court Justice Louise Arbour will become the monarch's representative in Canada. Arbour is a renowned lawyer who has prosecuted war crimes in Rwanda and Yugoslavia. She has also served as a human rights commissioner at the United Nations. Carney named Arbour as Mary Simon's replacement in May. Just this past week, the Governor General designate was received by King Charles III himself when Arbour visited the monarch at Buckingham Palace before her official swearing in. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre will begin his campaign across Alberta tomorrow to promote a united Canada. His first stop is in Calgary, where he will deliver a speech to encourage people in his home province to stay in our country if there's a referendum on separation this fall. A part of his speech has been shared to CBC News by the Conservative Party. It shows Poilievre will call on Alberta to join forces with other provinces. He says Albertans' discontent with the federal government aligns with other Canadians, and that the province should stay as part of the Canadian family to demand policy changes in Ottawa. Peruvians are voting today in a presidential runoff that could return one of the country's most divisive political names to power. The Conservative candidate is making her fourth bid for the presidency in a close race with a leftist candidate. Here's the latest from Lima.
This will be another right versus left contest here in Peru, something we've been seeing across Latin America. And it could reveal whether that right-wing wave that has been sweeping the region has peaked. Now, leading the Conservatives is 51-year-old Keiko Fujimori. She is the daughter of former President Alberto Fujimori. He ruled Peru in the 1990s. He's credited with cracking down on violent crime, saving the Peruvian economy, but he also spent 16 years in prison for human rights abuses and corruption. Now, Keiko Fujimori has run for president 3 times before. Polls show this may be her best chance yet, as she has leaned into that reputation from her father of cracking down on crime. And polls show rising violence and crime is one of the top concerns for Peruvians going into this election. Opposing her is 56-year-old Roberto Sanchez. He is a former minister of far-left President Pedro Castillo. Now, he has moved more towards the political center going into the second round of voting, backing off from ideas like rewriting the Peruvian constitution and removing autonomy from the central bank. Many Peruvians say they hope these elections will bring about political stability. Peru has had 9 presidents in the past decade. So far, that instability has not affected the Peruvian economy. It continues to thrive, but there are concerns that further instability could have economic impacts. We expect polls to close at about 5 p.m. local time. Polls show this race remains very close. We expect results to start coming in on Sunday night, but because it is so close, the winner here may not be known for days.
Armenians are voting today in an election that is being watched closely by both Moscow and the West. The campaign has been dominated by foreign policy issues, with the choice framed as one between aligning more closely with Europe or with Russia. CBC's Julia Chapman reports.
Armenia has remained fairly close to Russia since the breakup of the Soviet Union. But under Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, it has been slowly moving away from Moscow's influence. He's been working more closely with the European Union and with Washington, offering voters a path more aligned with the West. He's also been campaigning on his economic successes, with the country's economy growing significantly since he came to power in 2018. This was his pitch to voters this morning as he cast his ballot.
Armenian future will be the strategy of strengthening independence, statehood, democracy, rule of law, and we will continue the democratic reform path, of course, with the support of our European partners.
Pashinyan is running against candidates from several pro-Russia parties. They're focusing their campaigning on the benefits of economic ties with Moscow and pointing to the territorial concessions that Pashinyan made to Azerbaijan after the two countries fought several wars. Many voters blame Pashinyan for that loss, but others blame Russia, believing that it should have done more to intervene as a military ally of Armenia's. Moscow is deeply interested in the outcome of today's vote. Vladimir Putin recently said that Armenia could face a Ukrainian scenario if it continues pursuing closer relations with Europe. Russia has been accused of using its substantial economic leverage to influence voters in Armenia, halting imports on several Armenian products in the lead up to this election, citing quality and sanitation issues. Moscow, then in doing so, reminded Armenians that Russia is by far their biggest trading partner and has the power to make things very difficult for the country. It's also threatened to cut off gas supplies, which would be particularly painful for Armenia. Researchers say there's also an extensive disinformation campaign online against Pashinyan, which very much follows the Kremlin playbook that we've seen in other post-Soviet states. Moscow has denied this. It instead accuses Armenia's authorities of political repression. There has been a crackdown on the opposition in Armenia. Several candidates have been arrested. One party leader is even running from house arrest. But the government denies that these are politically motivated cases and insists that law enforcement are just trying to prevent a coup. Now, polls suggest that Pashinyan will receive the most votes today, but he's likely to fall short of an outright majority. So it's not impossible that if opposition groups perform well enough, they could find a way to form a coalition if they can agree on a leader they can all get behind.
Meanwhile, Iran's top negotiator is threatening military retaliation to Israel strikes on Lebanon, putting talks to an end to the wider war into new jeopardy. In a social media post, he accuses Washington of giving Israel the green light for strikes that hit two targets in the Lebanese capital. He says Tehran's response could include attacks against U.S. military bases and Israeli assets in the Middle East. Israel struck the southern suburbs of Beirut today for the first time since the U.S. announced a truce plan for Lebanon last week. Iran has long said any peace deal with the United States would depend on a ceasefire also holding in Lebanon. And violence also continues to unfold around the occupied West Bank. Israeli police say at least one person has been killed, several others wounded in a series of shootings. Police are investigating the incident as a suspected terror attack. Now, the shooting occurred in a town that sits on the green line separating Israel from the occupied West Bank. The gunman was identified as a resident of a nearby Israeli city populated mainly by Arab citizens. A second suspect was later arrested for alleged involvement in the attack. The Palestinian militant group Hamas praising the shootings but did not claim responsibility. Back here, closer to home, lots happening on the political scene. We're going to throw things over now to Rob Shaw to talk more about what's coming up tonight on Political Capital. Rob.
Well, thanks, Scott. A week in BC politics full of tumultuous events. Independent MLA Jordan Keeley charged with sexual assault, sparking a discussion of whether MLAs facing serious criminal charges should have to take leaves of absence or even resign from office. We'll talk about that with the panel. and the reaction to that and the various positions that people have staked out on that issue. Also, it was the first week for BC Conservative leader Carrie-Lynne Findlay in the job. We look at week one for her, some of her comments about Alberta separatism, some of the issues that she is already facing trying to unite that caucus, and the Surrey Police Board under immense turmoil and drama. The Premier says nothing to do with him, but there's a legacy there of provincial involvement. We talk a bit about that as well. Lots going on. We'll break it all down coming up right after the newscast, so don't change that dial. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Rob. Well, June is Pride Month, and when we come back, how a BC business is getting national recognition for its role in the fight for equality.
At Save On Foods, our new Unreal deal is on. Plus, get an extra deal when you load your My Offers. Find new deals every week at our best prices.
Keep up to date. I'm Sandra Richardson. Here's your Victoria Foundation Community Check-in.
Tickets are on sale for the Nanaimo Blues Festival, a 3-day family-friendly event celebrating the best in blues and roots music. Visit their website for this year's lineup. The 9th annual celebration of Filipino culture returns to Centennial Square, showcasing authentic cuisine, live music, a vibrant marketplace, and so much more. Registration is selling fast for the Royal Victoria Marathon, Half Marathon, 8K, 5K, and Thrifty Foods Kids Run taking place Thanksgiving weekend in Victoria and Oak Bay. Downtown Victoria will come alive with a summer of soccer, bringing fans together for live screenings, entertainment, and community activations. The Machosen International Summer School for the Arts is offering over 30 workshops and residencies from July 18th to 31st. Visit misa.ca for details.
The Victoria Foundation, connecting people who care with causes that matter.
Summer's coming. Is your boat ready? At Parker Marine Service Department, our factory-trained techs keep you on the water all season long. Third-generation family-owned and proudly saving weekends since 1964. Trust the team at Parker Marine, powered by Yamaha.
People live out of the house for many reasons. Relocation, insurance, corporate stays, even medical. At Victoria Suites, we take everything to the next level to make our guests feel immediately comfortable. We're totally furnished with exceptional service. Our suites are beautifully appointed, come well stocked, and have a pre- and post-inspection. If our guests need anything, we're literally minutes away to serve them 24/7. We want you to feel like you matter, because you do. Victoria Suites, live like home.
This week on Political Capital, independent MLA Jordan Keeley charged with sexual assault. Should he step down? What should the legislature do? Our panel breaks it all down Sundays on Check-In, wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by Uber Canada.
This CHEK program is brought to you in part by West Shore Towing. Here, there, and everywhere.
It's an iconic part of Vancouver business, and it's being honored this Pride Month. The bookstore, it's getting its own stamp, honoring it as one of Canada's places of pride.
They came in just yesterday, which was a nice surprise.
More than 40 years of history captured in a postage stamp.
Little Sisters is gonna be this little guy here.
Little Sisters Book and Art Emporium is an iconic part of Vancouver's queer history. And now it's one of 4 sites recognized in Canada Post's Places of Pride series. Tell me who's on this stamp here.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have a look here, we've got Jim and Bruce. We also have Janine.
From right to left, co-founders Jim Diva and Bruce Smith, and longtime manager Janine Fuller.
One of the reasons that Little Sisters is being recognized is that it won a landmark court case against the government of Canada, which upheld the rights of queer people, not just within British Columbia, but all across Canada.
In 1985, the Canada Border Customs Agency began seizing Little Sisters orders, labeling the material obscene. The bookstore fought back legally and wound up being targeted in multiple cases of vandalism over the years. In '96, the BC Supreme Court ruled the border agency still had the right to seizure.
The central claim at the heart of Little Sister's case was that Customs should not have the right to do this at all because they do not have the expertise to deem what is or isn't obscene when it comes to queer community and queer culture.
Little Sisters escalated the issue to the Supreme Court of Canada as a violation of charter rights and freedoms.
Now, Customs must prove that something is obscene when they seize it, rather than the other way around after it's been seized in order to get it back. It was a fight against censorship that benefits all Canadians, not just queer Canadians.
Their hard-fought victory now depicted on a stamp.
I think it's fantastic. It's really nice to see not only queer history represented, but local queer Vancouver history.
I think it's excellent, and I think the stamps are great.
I think that's a great honor. It shows the support of the Pride community. I think it's great. I'm really pleased to see that.
The design also reflects some of the bookstore's joy.
There's a little bit of an Easter egg in here. So there's the cat as well. The store was named after their cat, Little Sister.
The stamps can be found at all Canada Post outlets.
I'm Tess Van Stratton, and your full island forecast is coming up. But first, here's a look at weather around the world. Stray thunderstorms in 29 in Vietnam's capital, 25 and mostly cloudy in Hanover, Germany, and periods of rain in 15 in Hackney, England.
Weather around the world is brought to you by ComSense Cabinets. Designed for your space, built for your life.
Renovation, meet innovation. With the BathFitter PermaFit solution, we measure with laser precision so your tub fits perfectly over your old one. We install in a day with no demo or mess. Smart, cost-effective, and guaranteed for life. BathFitter.
We don't play hockey. We sell cars.
Welcome to the all-new Victoria Hyundai, Canada's newest and biggest Hyundai dealership. Over 1,000 new and used vehicles on site. The island's best selection of EVs, 20 service bays, an express lane for oil changes. We've got you covered. Plus, the all-new Victoria Genesis store, where luxury and experience come together.
The Cott family invites you down to Canada's largest Hyundai facility, now in Langford. Victoria Hyundai, we sell cars.
That's just the way you make me. So it's like I'm powerful. That's just the way you make me feel.
At Promise Valley Farm, we do dairy the old-fashioned Canadian way. Local, organic, and run by family. No chemicals, no additives, just dairy the way it used to be. From our family to your table, Promise Valley Farm.
Morning, James.
A good day's work means helping Dana find everything he needs for his customer's new fence, checking off the list for Marcel's new paint project, and assisting Brent to stock plumbing parts for his apartment complex. Being independent means listening to our customers and stocking those hard-to-find products. For those who wish they'd come here first, Castle Building Centers, proudly independent.
When we work to end inequity, we help start something better. Support even the odds.
Looks nice there, Tess. That shot from Nanaimo.
Enjoy it while you can.
Okay.
Partly cloudy for Nanaimo, other areas as well. So a big chunk of the island looking at partly cloudy conditions this evening, but increasing cloud cover tonight and then overnight. Some areas do have a chance of shower activity overnight, and tomorrow is looking wet from one end of the island to the other. Here's a look at that system moving in. So you can see there Monday impacting most areas of the island. Of course, the North Island West Coast will be getting hit with it first. Some unsettled conditions behind it as well. Still dealing with convection. So those convective clouds mean we do have have unsettled conditions for the next few days. You can see Monday hitting right across the island. Really, the North Island has actually the smallest chance of precipitation with this, but other areas, especially tomorrow afternoon, should see at least some shower activity. Now, North Island picture for tonight, you're looking at that 60% chance of overnight showers and then a 60% chance of showers tomorrow morning, possibly into tomorrow afternoon, in the early afternoon at least. Otherwise, mainly cloudy conditions. Sayward has a higher chance of shower activity. Temperature probably won't be quite that warm for Sayward, closer to about 15 degrees for Sayward. So temperature is still a bit flat for the northern tip, but we do have warmer weather on the way. Now, for the west coast of the island, 60% chance of showers for coastal areas tonight. Otherwise, mainly cloudy conditions. Inland areas looking at increasing cloud cover. So partly cloudy, shifting to mainly cloudy, and then cloudy conditions for sure overnight for you. Gold River does have a small, well, actually a 60% chance of shower activity for tonight. And then that's the only area of the inland island with that chance of showers tonight. But tomorrow, all areas looking at shower activity. Some areas will see it start in the morning. Other areas may not see it till later morning or even early afternoon. Now, for the East Island and Powell River, there is a 60% chance of late evening and overnight showers. That's right across the board for all island locations as well as Powell River. Tomorrow, getting up to about 17 for those island spots. Cooler for Powell River shower activity throughout the day tomorrow. So periods of rain right across the board for island locations as well as Powell River, although for Powell River it may not happen until the afternoon. A 60% chance of showers for you in the morning. Now, for the South Island, Port Renfrew has a 60% chance of showers for tonight. Otherwise, we are looking at dry conditions tonight. So some clouds tonight with increasing cloud cover. So becoming cloudy if it isn't already cloudy or mainly cloudy where you are already. And then we're looking at just a small chance of morning showers tomorrow, only a 30% chance, but rain tomorrow afternoon. So likely starting around lunchtime tomorrow. Temperatures also on the cooler side, only getting up to about 15 degrees. We should be closer to 20 degrees this time of year. So wet and cooler conditions to kick off the week. A little bit of wind as well. So those winds kicking up 30 to about 50 kilometers an hour right across the board, not just for Juan de Fuca Strait in the forecast for tonight. And we could see a little bit of wind tomorrow as well. It was blustery for parts of the South Island today. That trend could continue tonight. Here's a look across the province. So 60% chance of showers in the afternoon for Vancouver. Otherwise cloudy or mainly cloudy conditions. Pretty good chance of showers for Abbotsford into Whistler as well. We're looking at that shower activity. Bella Coola could see some wet conditions, but dry for Williams Lake, Prince George into Kamloops as well. Some sunshine there. And zooming out across the country, Prince Rupert also has a chance of shower activity. Some thunderstorms possible for Fort St. John, Fort McMurray, into Edmonton, wet conditions, but lots of sunshine for Calgary and into Saskatoon and Regina, sunny skies. Winnipeg, not quite as warm as it has been, so cooling off. There is another tornado watch, an orange tornado watch for Winnipeg for tonight and parts of southern Alberta. And then tomorrow, the heat will ease off. So all of the heat warnings should be lifted for at least tomorrow for southern Manitoba. That temperature back to the mid-20 range, risk of thunderstorms. But we do still have heat warnings in effect tomorrow for more northern parts of Manitoba and really right up to Hudson Bay there. Lots of sunshine for Toronto and Ottawa into Montreal and Quebec City, Fredericton. Very sunny conditions. Cool but sunny for Charlottetown. Some sunshine for Halifax and then wet conditions for St. John's. All right, here's a look at the long-range forecast for the North Island. So it's a bit of a gloomy June for the North Island, at least for the next few days. After that mainly cloudy day and chance of showers tomorrow, periods of drizzle for Tuesday, still cooler temperatures, 40% chance of showers for Wednesday, and then a 60% chance of showers for Thursday, but warming up just slightly, really, Thursday and Friday with clearing on Friday and then a mix of sun and cloud for Saturday. So not quite the warm up the rest of the island seeing, but certainly warmer than what you have seen. Here's a look at the Central Island. So this is the forecast for areas in the East Island by the water. After periods of rain tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud Tuesday with a pretty good chance of showers, small chance of shower activity, but cloudy for Wednesday. Back into a mix and warmer for Thursday with a 40% chance of showers. Then we dry out, temperature warms up more Friday and then hot on Saturday. So 27, that's for areas by the water. Some inland areas could be warmer than that. We also are going to see that warm up for the South Island as well. So a very sunny, hot weekend ahead for next weekend, but cool conditions for tomorrow with that rain and then into a mix of sun and cloud Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Pretty good chance of showers Tuesday, dropping to 30% Wednesday and Thursday. But that temperature does warm up Thursday and then it's warmer still Friday and then we're into that summer sizzle by Saturday. So unsettled for the next few days, but we do have a reward heading into next weekend. All right, here's a look at today's country grocer celebrations. Happy 90th birthday to Ruth Ann McFarlane of Sydney. Helen Brewster of Nanaimo celebrating a 91st birthday. All the best to Joan Johnson of Amica on the Gorge in Saanich on her 95th birthday. 96th birthday greetings go out to Betty Copeland of Victoria. A very happy 100th birthday to Betty Jean Fair of Victoria, who's lived here her whole life and still lives independently. And congratulations to Paul and Valerie Ciceri of Victoria as they celebrate their 68th anniversary today. I hope you all had a wonderful day. You can send those in on our website. Just go to checknews.ca and look for the contest tab. Please send them at least a day and up to a week in advance. And if you're looking for a good way to celebrate a 104th birthday, check this out.
Here we go.
So this is Eileen Griffin of Qualicum Beach celebrating her 104th birthday earlier this week. Lorraine Martin of Cycling Without Age, Qualicum Beach, says Eileen wanted to go for a ride on their trishaw and have an ice cream cone with her friend. It was raining pretty hard, and Lorraine said, you know, it's not the greatest day for ice cream. To which Eileen responded, are you kidding me? Every day is a good day for ice cream.
Agreed.
Agreed. That is so true. Never say no to an ice cream, an important life lesson from a 104-year-old.
Smile of the Day, brought to you by Dr. Ross Crapo and Associates.
If we haven't met you yet, we're just a phone call away. If we can help, we'd like to.
How's this for a cool wildlife encounter? Brian Wolf Milner of Salt Spring Island says he was walking along a trail and glanced back to see this young owl. It's all puffed out there.
Oh, wow.
The owl started clicking and trying to puff itself up as a defense mechanism. Now they saw another one a few hours later and said Mama was close by, keeping an eye out as the young ones hadn't earned their wings yet. Brian says it was a very memorable experience and wanted to share it with CHEK viewers.
They're so cool.
Yeah, so neat. I'm so glad you did. I've never seen a young owl like that on the ground. I've seen them in nests, and we get lots of owl photos sent in. So
You kind of had two smiles of the
we
day
did.
there.
We
Either
did.
one
We
of those
doubled up.
works.
It's Sunday, a special Sunday double smile of the day today.
Yeah, set up the week that's coming right. Thanks so much, Tess. Well, a growing community here on the island has a goal for a new home. It's Filipino Heritage Month. Vital People is next.
A line isn't a limit. It's a starting point. Remitly helps turn hard work into steady progress by keeping your money in play. Move, manage, grow your money worldwide. Remitly keeps up with your global life.
Transform your routine with the class-leading Safe Step walk-in tub, proudly made by a Canadian company. And now for a limited time, when you purchase your brand new tub, you'll receive $2,000 off your order, plus a free toilet. The ultra-low Easy Step means you don't have to climb over those high wall tubs, allowing you to age gracefully in the home you love. So why wait? Call the number on your screen today and receive $2,000 off your Safe Step walk-in tub, plus a free toilet.
You're the one they call to power it and go the distance. So when the call comes, answer it with the F-150 Power Boost Hybrid. Get this F-150 with financing from 0% plus $1,250 in Ford accessories.
Relax. Duradex got you covered.
Are you dressed like Dr. Evil?
Hello, Mr. Campbell. I've invented a laser to lower prices. Allow me to demonstrate.
Sorry, ma'am. The Old Farm Market. Great produce at the lowest prices.
Do you know what's in your mattress and how it's made? At Rest House, our Cocoon mattresses are designed with fully accessible latex layers. Support where you need it with a mattress made to last. Fall into the best sleep of your life.
Baseball fans, get ready. For every Harbor Cats home game, CHEK has your front row seat. Catch every monster hit and all the epic highlights packed into a 30-minute recap. Harbor Cats in 30, game nights on CHEK.
We're doing the water ballet, and we love this place.
June is Filipino Heritage Month, and this year, Greater Victoria's Filipino community is celebrating an important milestone, the 25th anniversary of their community center. And as Tess Van Straten shows us in this week's Vital People, the space is a tight squeeze, and volunteers are now fundraising for a bigger gathering spot.
Whether it's preparing food for cultural celebrations or practicing a traditional folk dance, the Philippine Bayanihan Community Center in Victoria is an important gathering place.
Community center is really important because this home, it can say, is our home away from home.
A home that fosters friendship, connection, and cultural pride for the capital's vibrant Filipino community.
Nobody lives alone. In every aspect, we need each other. And in this community, we have a special interest to develop to promote our heritage, to keep up the interest in the culture.
The center is the community's foundation, and it was 25 years ago that the Blanchard Street building opened its doors.
Oh, this is so significant for us because 25 years when we first bought this, we were a little bit apprehensive. Okay, we have been working for a center. Now what? Are we be able to support ourselves? And we did. The volunteers came together.
It's really exciting celebration. Honestly, it is a celebration of faith, hope, and resilience of Filipino community here in Vancouver Island.
Ambulance has been dispatched. That resilience was tested by the Lapu-Lapu Festival attack in Vancouver, but the wider community rallied to show support.
Also, we were amazed how they help us through messages and through flowers and actually financial support. It really makes us all feel that we really belong here.
So we opened the center and we prayed together and received their sympathies. That's what's so important about having your own home. They know where to go and the need is there.
But as Victoria's Filipino community has grown, this home has become a tight squeeze.
There's a lot of Filipino now in here and families, so when we do activities, we're actually crumpled. There's not really a lot of space for us, so it's about time now to move on and get a bigger place for us.
As they celebrate the center's 25th anniversary, volunteers are now fundraising for a bigger building. And they're also getting ready to host the 9th annual Mabuhay Festival in Centennial Square June 13th and 14th as part of Filipino Heritage Month.
We always come with one another to uplift one another, to bring up one another, and to support one another. I think that is the Bayanihan spirit.
Vital People is brought to you in part by the Victoria Foundation, connecting people who care with causes that matter.
Pet Check is coming up next, and it's taco time on Pet Check today. These guys are the taco fixings litter up for adoption from the Victoria Humane Society. Kitten season in full swing. We'll tell you all about them. We'll also talk about animals and matting because it's a huge problem. That's after the break.
Tonight on CHEK, it's Political Capital with Rob Shaw at 6, followed by the best of the upside. At 7, find out if a trivia champion can stop 3 contestants on the chase. Then at 8, it's the comedy Bridesmaids starring Kristen Wiig. Harbor Cats in 30 is at 10:30.
Since 1967, Island Marble has been Victoria's bathroom specialist. Thank you for making us part of your renovation journey over the years. We promise to keep delivering expert craftsmanship and outstanding service. Discover the possibilities at Island Marble.
Archie Johnstone Plumbing and Heating, a full-service mechanical contractor since 1954. From emergency service to preventative maintenance, commercial to residential. Archie Johnstone Plumbing and Heating. We're plumb serious about plumbing. Visit us at ajph.com.
We needed some support with my mother-in-law. She gets the regular tests done, and the doctor couldn't figure out why she wasn't doing so well. And we knew why. She wasn't taking her blister pack pills properly. Andrea is going to my mother-in-law's home every single morning to hand my mother-in-law her pills and watch her take them properly.
Heart at Home, enabling patients to live healthier lives at home for longer. Available from Heart Pharmacies.
What can custom window coverings and closets do for you? What do you want? custom window coverings and closets. Raffel & Brown Window Covering Center.
We believe everyone should be able to access comfortable, quality dental care. That's why Quantum Dental offers transparent services and flexible financial assistance for patients from Nanaimo to Campbell River. Visit a Quantum clinic and see how we're doing dental different.
Ah, the classic globe. You know that these are just the government's way of hiding that the Earth is flat.
Fact-checked.
Sorry? What?
I fact-checked you because you were spreading misinformation. And this is why we need credible news sources who fact-check things like this.
Okay. Thanks.
Kinda flattened you there.
This CHEK program is brought to you in part by Real Rug Washing by Loverrug.com. Fall in love with your rugs all over again. Pet Check is brought to you by Bosley's, a proud supporter of the Victoria Humane Society. Go to petvalue.ca/companions for change.
It's Pet Check time, and we have kittens on Pet Check today. Look at these little sweethearts. We have 5 kittens, and one is not like the other. This one looks very different. This Siamese-looking one, very different from the others. That you can tell they had a calico mama because they're orange and black. Oh, they're very, very sweet, very interested in everything. They are the Taco Fixings litter, so they're 6 weeks old, and they have quite the name. So they have some double and triple barreled names. There's Benny Blackbean, there's Chester Cheddar Cheese, there's Sally Salsa, Gabby Guacamole, and who am I forgetting?
I think you did a really good job
Sammy
there.
Sour Cream. Sammy Sour Cream. Oh, we've never had kittens with such big names before.
I know, because they have big personalities. They're sweet. They're like, this is a basket full of kittens of everything. Like, there's everything here. Oh, we're missing a tabby. We're missing a tabby.
Oh, we have an orange tabby.
Yeah, orange tabby. But honestly, these sweet kittens, it's just the beginning of kitten season. It's coming on with a huge roar, so pretty soon there's going to be kittens everywhere. I know people have been asking, so yeah, this is the beginning, so get ready.
Yeah, so they're not quite ready for adoption yet. They have to be over 8 weeks old to be adopted out, but you can tell they've been very well socialized.
They've been with our best foster, who's just amazing and just really socializes the kittens. So
yes, which is so important.
And they're still with their mom, so that's great.
Yes. That's good. So mama helps teach them things.
Yep.
And helps take care of them. And this age also they're starting like grooming each other, and playing with each other and taking care of each other. So when you adopt a kitten that's well socialized like this, you just want to keep that up and make sure you handle them a lot, cuddle them a lot, bring them all over the house with you a lot, and also not let them outside, because kittens like this that are so trusting of people really
will go anywhere.
Will go anywhere and have no fear. That our Clementine's like that. She can't ever go outside because she was bottle raised. It's better for cats to be inside anyway.
Yes.
But for cats that have grown up in care from a young age, they just have no fear because they think everyone's here to love them and look after them because that's been their life.
I can't get over how cute they are. Like each one of them is so adorable with different looks.
They're pretty calm too, I have to say. No crazy kittens this time.
So I was hoping today to talk about grooming.
Yes.
So
very important. And we have talked about it recently, but people just aren't really getting the message about how important grooming is. Now for a short-haired cat like this, it's a big deal, but if you have a medium or longer haired cat, and then dogs, of course, that aren't short haired, it's a major issue.
And we're seeing lots and lots of animals who are getting surrendered who are so badly matted. We have to actually get them sedated so that we can completely shave them.
How do you let your pet get to that point?
It's a lot of times with cats, it's when people let them get obese so they can't groom themselves, because cats are very clean.
Cats are very clean and very good at it.
But we have gotten in some...
But also, okay, so we had a long-haired cat who was semi-feral. We could not keep it from going outside. And it would get very, very matted because it had long white fur, but I would actually... we would trim it, or I would actually cut out the mats to prevent it from becoming a problem.
I think people just think the mats is okay. It's a mat. It's a knot. It's whatever. But as it gets worse, it starts to tighten and tighten and tighten, and it starts to pull like someone pulling your hair constantly, and it's very painful for them. And we have had actually a couple dogs come in that were so badly matted they couldn't go to the bathroom anymore. They were so they can't walk properly anymore. They can't anything.
No, that's animal abuse.
I know. And so it's really important if you're going to get a cat or dog that's a longer hair. I mean, any cat or dog, but the longer hair ones. If you like that look, or especially doodles, we see it with doodles a lot. We see it with Shih Tzus a lot.
Need to have regular
regular grooming,
Absolutely.
and they're harder to groom.
It's hard to find a groomer to do them even.
Doodles really need to go to a professional.
And it's because with doodles, because we're mixing two different types of hair, it's even worse. So it's really important that people who are getting animals remember that they do need grooming, and don't wait a year until your animal can't walk or can't move or can't go to the bathroom.
No, like deal and brush. You can prevent all of this by brushing them. So if you brush them.
And brush them from the beginning.
Yes. Brush them from this age, they'll be totally used to it. But if you're trying to get an older cat or a cat who isn't crazy about brushing, I do it with Churchill and he has short hair, but I just do it to reduce the amount of hair in our house. In our house. So when he's eating, I put his food out and he likes his food. He's a chunker. And then I just sort of brush it while he's eating. And he wants the food more than he wants to not have the brushing.
And if you do it all the time, it's not a big deal. But when you get to the point, sedating an animal, first of all, you're putting them under anesthetic. It's a risk. And if you have to keep doing that because you haven't brushed your cat or you haven't brushed your dog or you haven't taken care of it, it's a real risk, and it becomes expensive
as well.
So just keep it up, do it. And if you're going to get it, when you're looking at an animal to adopt or an animal, please think about what, and we talk to people about this all the time, this is going to be long hair, this is going to be some maintenance. So it's really important people pay attention.
Yes. So when we say that, know that these guys look like they'll be short hair cats, so they won't be high maintenance on that front, and they're just going to make the best kittens. If you're interested in one of the taco fixing litter kittens, they go to the Satellite Adoption Center. So these guys will be going to the Bosleys Royal Oak. We'll put more info on our website. Just go to the Pet Check page there. Thanks for watching. So cute.
Pretty cute.
Yes, yes. We're so adorable. All right, speaking of adorable.
Yes, let's go.
We have viewer pet photos. CHEK viewer Peggy Colgrave of Colwood came across these two pups on a sunny sidewalk outside the Sydney Starbucks as they waited for mom or dad. The smaller one almost looks like a stuffy to me. So cute. This happy boy is Murphy, a rescue from the Victoria Humane Society, adopted by Ron and Julie Thompson of Colwood. Now, this was his first time in a hammock with mom, and I think he likes it. Look at that face. You could say 2-year-old kitty Holly has a toasty relaxation spot. Karen Golden and Stephen Torrance of Qualicum Beach say she likes to sit here after the toaster's off, but it's still warm. So a very cozy spot for her.
Smart.
Yes. Kitty cat Cedar is also all about warmth and comfort. Barb Anderson of Campbell River says Cedar loves to cuddle up in a sunny spot like that. Jeff and Laura Doyle sent in this photo of beautiful sky having fun on the beach near Campbell River as the sun was coming up. And this gorgeous guy is Louie, who turned 15 years old at the end of May. Avril Way says he had a day full of treats and toys and lots of love, as he should.
Looks like a healer.
Yeah.
So weather-wise, getting your pets out for walks, etc., we're gonna have to bundle up.
I would say morning
Parkas.
for Victoria, morning, smaller chance of showers. Afternoon will be wetter for sure.
What about snow?
Yes. No,
we're clear
no
snow?
It's
Okay.
June.
Okay.
So I think we're good on the snow
So
front.
even the single digits
we didn't even
we're
have
seeing.
snow this past winter.
Okay, we're not going to dip below zero. No. And summer's coming.
Yeah, in a few days it's going to be hot again. So
okay.
It's a lot up and down this time of year.
All right, you heard it here first. Thanks so much for watching.